Hi, my name is Sarah Boucher and this is Willowdale Estate in Topsfield, Massachusetts. Willowdale Estate is located within the Bradley Palmer State Park, which has over 721 acres of protected forest, and just over the hill in this grassy area is actually the Ipswich River, which runs alongside the estate. We have a parking lot on site for up to 65 cars. And in our tent season, which this video is focused on, we oftentimes see some shuttle buses coming from the hotels as well as using our parking lot. I mentioned our tent season, which is in May through October. The main feature of this tent season is our tent and use of the outdoor space behind the estate here. As guests arrive for a ceremonial reception at Willowdale Estate, we will have servers outside, usually offering lemonade or sometimes cider. This is a seasonal beverage before a ceremony or the reception to welcome guests into the estate. Those servers can also help guests through the handicap accessible entrance, which is the green door on the left. There's just one step up through the red door. There's lots of stained glass in the estate and lots of wood detailing and character. As a first impression, guests will enter this foyer area. There's a bathroom off to the right and a coat room, and 3 tables for client decor. So you might have a card box here or a guest book. Sometimes guests have flowers. Before we head outside to see our tent area and our garden, I'm going to take you to the north wing of the estate, which is where the processional would begin if you had a ceremony at Willowdale. We have another YouTube video that describes how this space can be used for cocktail hour during our indoor wedding season. And sometimes we use this area for cocktail hour if we have very large weddings with over 200 guests. On the second floor of the north wing is where the hospitality suites are, and there is another video that describes the use of the hospitality suites, so I will link to that video so you can see that as well. But the library is what I wanted to show you. So this room is perfect for just before a ceremony begins. Anyone who's going to process down the aisle can gather in this room just before the ceremony begins. It's also a great place to gather right after the ceremony ends to enjoy maybe a few hors d'oeuvres before taking photos with family. The processional for a ceremony at Willowdale Estate would be walking down this shady pathway. It's almost 5 o'clock in early June, so that you can see the sun has started to go down behind the house. It's about 4:30 right now, actually. So this 40 by 40 courtyard area is a great place for a ceremony. The ceremonies are usually either centered on the house like this, or facing the corner. And finally, we really like this view that's centered on the dining room here. After the ceremony's over, we welcome guests to cocktail hour through this entrance underneath the awning. And the wedding party usually heads back towards the library to do some pictures. around the northern side of the estate. Before we head inside, I'm going to tell you about the tent. Let me just back up a little bit in the garden so you can kind of see from this shady area. So very close to the ceremony area is our Sperry Tent. The tent includes clear sides and a tented walkway that connects to the mansion through a dining room door. The patio has this nice tile, but as you head towards the tent, you'll see that there's a smooth poured concrete surface for the tent area, which is awesome for dancing. And it also means that your guests won't have to walk on grass if there is a little bit of moisture or rain on the wedding day. We have tent sides for the entire tent, and we also include 6 lanterns, 2 on each of these posts, and bistro lights around the outside perimeter of this tent. What's not pictured today is 3 heaters that we include in the chillier months like May and October, so that the tent can be fully heated. And we also have outlets for your band or DJ or any lighting that you might want to add to the tent. The center of this back section is all for dancing. Dancing is usually in the back of the tent, centered here, and guest seating is usually in a U shape closer to the garden, so that guests are just 1 or 2 tables away from the dance floor. The head tables work great in this sunny area in front of the garden. Our tent is a sailcloth Sperry tent, and we own it. It stays up from May through October. This little side lawn area is a great place for a fire pit or maybe some lawn games. And then, after dinner's over, we love putting, weather permitting, we love putting a bar out in the courtyard here and some high tops from cocktail hour too, so that your guests can dance and enjoy beverages and kind of hang out in this open air space. We also have a set of bistro lights that can hang from the house and connect to the tent. Here's a better view of that side lawn area, a great place for a fire pit or lawn games. All right, so let me take you back. After the ceremony's over, this is the pathway your guests would take to get to cocktail hour. Usually we guide guests with a passed beverage. You can choose 2 cocktails to serve your guests, maybe 1 for each member of the couple who's getting married, a favorite drink perhaps. Guests would enter through this door, and the first impression is this beautiful dining room area. The dining room is a great place to display a wedding cake and the fireplace in the far end of this room. And on this farm table or in the window area is a great place to show your guests where they're sitting for dinner. Later in the evening, we use this room as a dessert parlor, so we can display wedding cake on this table, have a coffee station right here in the fireplace area with coffee cups in this little nook, and our famous Willowdale cookies served on a little dessert station like this. So back to cocktail hour. The great room is the second room of 3 we use for cocktail hour. This is a great place to have the bar. There'll be cocktail tables, some low tables and some high tops. And these shelves in front of me are a great place to put some personal items like family photos or candles or greenery on the mantle. This final large room is used for a stationary cheese and crudité table, right underneath the chandelier here. And as you can see, this room has a panoramic view of the state park. After cocktail hour is over, guests are invited back out to the tent for dinner and dancing. And again, the dining room turns into sort of a dessert parlor for your guests to enjoy. This long hallway is where the bathrooms are. And I think that concludes our tour. So I hope you enjoyed the video tour of our tent season at Willowdale Estate. Get in touch with your questions. We'd be happy to schedule a future visit or do a Zoom call if you're planning from afar. Thanks. Have a great day.